we want to hold on to our traditions, but sometimes our traditions don't fit us in that moment, right? Like,
Yes.
so we have to make adjustments. Maybe we have to spend a little bit less, or we just, like I said, I'm gonna cook the day before instead of the
Yeah.
day of, and all whatever it takes to make it fun and enjoyable and not
Yeah.
just go through the motions every single year and be crazy. It looks like a lot of fun on social media, and it's not that it's not fun, it's just that it could be a lot more relaxing if the time was spent differently. I mean, I know people who they have so much pressure from each side of their family, or their spouse's
yeah.
side of the family and
Oh,
their own
yeah.
side of the family, to both be there,
Yeah.
that they just leave town and go do something else. I'm like, and why put that pressure on people, right? Like, it's got to be hard once you get married, right? And then you got two different families. Like, we've never spent the holiday with your family,
No.
right? And so, and I've never spent a holiday away from my mom.
Yeah.
You know? Hi, welcome to our 58th episode of Love, Growth, and Narratives. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Fredrick.
And we are just a few days away from Christmas, and we've been in the holiday season for a while now. We know how Christmas actually starts in October now, anyway.
Yeah.
And so we are just going to talk about today, like, how we've been experiencing the holiday season compared to years prior, and all things holiday season.
Yeah, and because with us, I mean, this is the third holiday we've celebrated. I mean, like, being in the same home is what I'm saying.
Oh, maybe in the same home.
Yeah. I mean, after the 4 years, I mean, we've had more holidays, but actually being in the same home is a little bit different than us going to each other's places and stuff like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it has been different.
Yeah. It's been different because also I think the first year we met, we did Thanksgiving at my mom's.
Yes, that's true.
And then we went to Maryland. We didn't stay for Christmas Day, but we went around Christmas time.
We went, in December. Yeah.
And I don't even remember if that's when we came back and that's when we started spending it at my cousin's. I can't remember, but it was different in the beginning.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
was.
Right.
It
And
was.
so on most of the ones since we've been living together, we have been going over to my cousin's house for Thanksgiving and Christmas time. So we haven't like done it at home. We haven't had Christmas in this home or anything else, right? Or
That's
Thanksgiving.
Right. And it's crazy because, I mean, so between your mom and your cousin, that's really the only family you have out here.
Mm-hmm.
I have no family out here except I have one cousin in Koreatown, but other than that, I don't have any family. And so,
So
it does make it different.
It's been different. When I think about how it's different when I grew up, I think as I'm getting older, I'm wanting more of how it was when I grew up. I feel like in the middle, it was muddy. Well, I mean, when I grew up, it was me, my mom, my grandparents, and my two uncles. That's what I remember. And then the building we lived in, people would come over and stop by. It was a very like active and joyous time. We all sat down at the table. Grandma made everything from scratch. It was a big fun deal. And then I did a lot of moving growing up.
Yeah.
So, and then coming to California, it never really felt like Christmas here to me because of the weather and not having all my family here. And so some Christmases I don't even remember, or holidays I don't even remember, to be honest with you. And then we got to a period where it was just mostly like me and my mom. Once in a while we'd have some people over, but it was just the two of us. And my mom likes to do a fancy table setting, like, she'll buy new dishes and everything. There has to be a charger and a plate and a salad plate and a salad bowl. And you know what I mean? She had like everything. So that was like a big deal to her. And it was always fun to see what she would create. Yeah. And then the shift as I get older and my mom gets older, I'm more of doing the cooking now.
Right.
And she's not, it's a lot of work. And so,
she's still coaching you though.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure, trying to get grandma's recipes right. Yeah. But, that's a big shift, to change. And then I'm cooking for a lot more people now, especially at Thanksgiving time. But this year, I think I've really been into wanting all the little fun, cutesy moments. I mean, when I was little, my mom and I used to make Christmas cookies and color them together. And she'd buy me jumbo coloring books and color with me and teach me how to color. And I just remember it being like a lot of fun, and my mom's the type to like make stuff herself, not go like get things. And so that was special to me. I remember it. And as a teacher, that's exactly what I get to do. And being back in kindergarten, not that second grade didn't enjoy holidays, but for some reason, I just want to do it even more so with them, because it's not just the fun, it's also their learning through all of the type of activities that I do. And I just enjoy doing that with them. And it's bringing me joy now. I'm trying to, as I get older, trying to really find glimmers and joy every day and not wait for something to happen, but create those experiences a lot. And so I just like all the cutesy earrings and jewelry and little fun. And it's not that I'm really big into the real meaning of Christmas or Christmas itself. It's just all the celebration.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't have the greatest memories of Christmas growing up. You know, for the most part, it was the four of us. You know, my parents, my older sister and I, and then my younger sister came. I was probably 12 when she was born. Okay. So a lot of my memories were just the four of us. And then, you know, we moved a lot. You know, once we left Atlanta, everything shifted, you know, going into New Jersey and then into Pittsburgh, you know, Mount Lebanon, and then, you know, settling in Maryland after that. You know, Christmas was always a kind of rough time for us because we didn't really have a lot of money. And I think I had talked about this before. My parents liked for us to live in the best neighborhood we could live in, even though we really couldn't afford it, which makes sense because you wanna be because of the people in the neighborhood,
right?
However, for a child, it was really difficult because you get around your friends and they've got all these presents, all these nice clothes and stuff and video games, and you got, you know, a pair of socks, some underwear, and it's just like it was tough then. And then but because of that, there were years where my parents would really stretch themselves to get us really nice gifts, and which we loved. Right. And then, you know, days after that, we're trying to figure out what we're going to eat, you know? So it was, you know, so I don't have the greatest memories of Christmas. And a lot of it was, I think about the stress that my parents went through because they saw that we weren't getting much. Right. And I could tell it bothered them. And I'm thinking that, you know, for this so-called holiday, that, you know, the stress that it puts parents in so that their kids can have something that's comparable to the other kids in the neighborhood, there's just a lot of stress behind that.
There is a lot of stress. I mean, you know, when I think in particular at my school, you know, we had several families that are struggling. Yeah. You know, they're struggling all year, right? But this is a time that people generally want to give and that they give. And, you know, I appreciate how much our friends and family and some of the people that I work with really went all out to try to help these families get something off of the wish list for each person in there. Some of the parents didn't want anything for themselves. They just wanted to be able to do something for their kid. They just wanted their kid to have a toy, something to open. And we knew that they wanted something to. Everybody deserves something. I really don't like that people make Christmas all about kids. Yes. If you have kids, they're part of the human, you know, race, but it's not like it's just for them, you know? Yeah. And so we wanted to make sure that we got the family, you know, the adults in the home, something as well. And, you know, hundreds of dollars worth of gift cards to groceries. And, you know, one thing I want to say is that people assume if you don't look like you need money, that you don't for some reason. But I mean, as for myself, I remember when we moved to California, we moved here with my uncle, my mom's older brother. And just 3 months after we moved here, he got in trouble with the law and he ran. And so he ran all the way to Africa. So he left my mom here, and she hadn't found a job yet. So we were living with him, and things got really tough.
Yeah.
But my mom is the type, no matter if it's tough or not, she's going to make sure I look cute and have all the things and stuff. Yeah. And so no one knew, no one knew she had to go on welfare for 3 months. No one knew that we were eating Wonder Bread and dipping it in Kool-Aid for dinner. Yeah. Like, no one knew that. But she, and she still did all these other things with me to make life so much better, as best as she could. And so anyway, when people assume that you're doing better than you are because you don't look a certain way, you really shouldn't. You might want to take time to find out about that. And I know none of my teachers knew anything like that. I mean, I don't ever remember teachers talking. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but talking to me in the way that I talk to my students and get to know them and their families. Right. I that just didn't happen. And a lot gets revealed in that space. But going back to the whole, holiday time, I try to make it fun in the classroom, but I'm also trying not to make just Christmas or certain holidays more important than others. I'm trying to respect the people who don't celebrate anything and people that celebrate different things, just trying to make it a joyous time no matter what people believe, and trying to make it fun and festive. I mean, lights and color and doing things that bring us joy, like singing. I think that lifts our spirits. But speaking to what you said, I've read before that in January, there's so much depression after all the amount of money that people have spent on Christmas.
Yes.
And it takes you months and years. Most people, right? If you have money, you have money, but probably a lot of people, it really impacts them for a long time. It's not just like that December check.
And it doesn't just impact poor people.
Yeah.
It impacts middle-class people because of the amount of stretching that they're doing,
right?
To get all these gifts for everybody,
right?
I think that it affects probably most people.
I think so, absolutely. Between the stress of trying to shop while you're working and you're mothering or fathering or all the millions of things that you're doing, taking care of parents and all that kind of stuff, and then you tell yourself, I'm not gonna do what I did last year, right? Like, it's not that I don't love XYZ, but I'm just not going to do it. And then as the days get closer,
you end up doing it anyway.
You do it anyway. When I think about work, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then when you think about 5 people, and you're like, oh, there's 2 more, and there's another one, and there's another one, right? And those $5, $10 gift cards, they add up when you're buying it for like 20 people.
Yes.
Right. And I thought the sweetest thing this year, one of the people in the office, she gave me a gift card. We usually don't get gifts from, the classified staff, or I don't know. That was so special to me. It was like, oh my gosh, thank you. You know what I mean? We always give to them, but I was like, that just really made me feel good. It makes me feel good just that people want to give, even if it's just a family photo, just showing that you thought of that person and you filled it out, because it's work sitting there right now.
I kind of had to evolve on the whole Christmas thing, because when I was probably in my 20s and maybe even into my early 30s, I was just against Christmas. I was just totally against it.
Even with the kids.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I would do things for them, but I couldn't get over my own experience and what my parents went through, and I just kind of was like, first off, holidays, birthdays, all these kind of things where you feel like a requirement to give a gift, but then the rest of the year you don't give people anything.
Right.
And that's why I like to give things to people just randomly. I like to give random gifts. I don't want to feel like just because it's this special day that I have some requirement to give you something.
Right.
But yet on other days I shouldn't, but I had to, I evolved on it. Whereas what I really appreciated about the holiday was most of my family was not working. So we could get together. So the ability for people to get together, that kind of brought me back around into enjoying the holiday, but I can't imagine what some of these parents are going through.
Yeah.
Because kids compare themselves to the other kids in the neighborhood. And so if Johnny got a new PlayStation or whatever, and you're sitting around with, colored pencils. You're just kind of like, I don't know. And so the comparison there can be tough, but I had to really come around on that one.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I think I've always liked it, but then maybe there was a couple of Scrooge type years that I've had. I haven't had a tree maybe once or twice in the time that, that I've lived here, which is a long time. I think as now being married and a stepson, like I want to do some of the things my mom did with me and have that experience, but it's not really happening. I guess maybe because he's older and maybe you're not as into it. And it's like, it feels like a really weird space where I'm all like, I want to dress up and do all the things. And everyone's kind of like,
but I tell you, as I get older, I am starting to get more into it than I did when I was, in my younger years. I am starting to see more value in it. It's, it's part of an evolution, but when I go back to childhood, I don't want to forget the great parts about it, where, we would put up a tree every year. I mean, we had our little fake tree that we would, take out of the box every year. But my mother had, especially like we lived in New Jersey, we made our own ornaments. And so we would sit there and we'd paint them and all of that kind of stuff. And, my mother was always baking cookies, and her famous ginger snaps just made the world better. Even though she would get angry at me because I didn't allow them to bake, I'd be in the bowl, as soon as she turned, I got a spoon or a finger in the bowl because I loved my mama's ginger snaps. But yeah, so those parts about it, if I look back, I do kind of remember that. And because like I said, in New Jersey, it was just us. So we didn't have other family to be around. And so, it was just us sitting here doing these things. We played a lot of games, though, also. Scrabble, Boggle, Monopoly, all that kind of stuff. So we did have a good time.
We always traditionally, I can't remember if it was Christmas or Thanksgiving or New Year's, but we would always go to the movies. I feel like that's what we'd always do. There'd always be a big movie that would come out during Christmas time, and we'd go to the movies.
I don't think they do that anymore. They don't have.
I don't even know. I don't even know what movies are playing anymore. I don't really watch TV, so I don't see any advertisements. I don't know. But that's what I feel like we always would do. My mom would get me so many gifts, and I'd be trying to find the perfect, gifts for her as well. So it was fun, but now it's a little bit harder. I feel like, if I'm being honest, I feel like the day, not just Christmas, but the holiday times, it feels so rushed. Like I'm trying to be here, I'm trying to be there, trying to finish up at school and make that the best experience possible. Then it's like, let me cook at home, but I'm not going to eat at home. So I got to pack it up and take it somewhere else. Go get my mom who's further away. Maybe that's just what everybody always did. And for me, it's just new. But I'm just like, it's a lot. Like it doesn't feel like a relaxing day. And so I'm trying to figure out, how can I make it more so? Maybe I need to cook earlier, sooner, the day before, and just, leftovers taste better anyway. And just make sure that day feels more relaxed. I'm older and tired and having to do all these different things. It's like I'm missing some of that fun. But even with the shopping, like, getting paid once a month as a teacher, it's like, okay, we get paid on the 1st, and then you getting real broke by the 15th. I mean, you know what I mean? Just spending all this extra money.
You start thinking about all the way to the 25th.
Yes, like, because I'm not even just talking about, Christmas shopping, but just there's life, right? Like, those monthly life things. And now you're trying to throw in Christmas shopping on top of it. And actually, most of the shopping feels like it's for people I don't know super well. They're not family members. So I can't imagine people who have a big family and they have work, you know what I mean, to deal with. Or people who wish that they could give and they don't have anything to give. You know, they are just, I know some of these families that we help, they were like, we thought we were not going to have a Christmas. We thought we weren't going to be able to have a meal. or like I haven't worked in a whole month because the family I work for went on vacation. So you got a family that could afford to be on vacation for an entire month.
Right.
And then you got the people who work for you not getting any money because you're on vacation and not being able to eat and having trouble going to find different, another job during that time for different reasons. So it's just really interesting to keep in mind what everyone is going through in a time that's supposed to be joyous.
Absolutely. And that is one of the things that I think about as I get older and I go through these holidays. I do really think about the people who aren't able to celebrate or they're struggling to celebrate, and they do like what my parents did. It was like we go ahead and have a good Christmas and then, for the 2 weeks after that, we're like, oh boy, what are we going to eat?
Right, right. Yeah.
All of a sudden lights are getting cut off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the best way is for that, but I am starting, and maybe just because I'm getting older, but I am starting to really think about these things a lot more than I did.
Yeah, and I think we want to hold on to our traditions, but sometimes our traditions don't fit us in that moment, right? Like, so we have to make adjustments. Maybe we have to spend a little bit less, or we just, like I said, I'm gonna cook the day before instead of the day of, and all whatever it takes to make it fun and enjoyable and not just go through the motions every single year and be crazy. It looks like a lot of fun on social media, and it's not that it's not fun. It's just that it could be a lot more relaxing if the time was spent differently. I mean, I know people who they have so much pressure from each side of their family, their spouse's side of the family and their own side of the family to both be there that they just leave town and go do something else. I'm like, and why put that pressure on people, right? Like, it's got to be hard once you get married, right? And then you got two different families. Like, we've never spent the holiday with your family.
No.
Right. And so, and I've never spent a holiday away from my mom.
Yeah.
Even most recently, she was in a facility and we went and took Thanksgiving dinner there and had her have some before we went to go celebrate my cousins.
Yeah.
But I've never gone away or anything like that without my mom being there.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see the value in it, but I do think that, we have to put less pressure on each other as well as on ourselves.
Yeah, ourselves.
Because you're supposed to be doing this for people that you care about. And so it really shouldn't be that hard. It really shouldn't.
Right. And most people have no idea. I mean, probably kids who come from families where they're struggling on have more of an idea, but kids, not saying that they should be feeling the pressure of all this, but they think everything comes from Santa. They think everything, I mean, those people.
My kids never thought that.
Yeah, I didn't. My mom, I think I was really little. She told me real young that there was no Santa, and she was Santa.
I didn't allow any of my kids to believe in Santa.
Yeah, it's like the idea of it's cute. But I would never want my kid to think that Santa's the one bringing all of the. Fine, have a stocking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with little trinkets that he dropped off, but no way. The big stuff no, absolutely not. But anyway,
but that was one of the things that, with my first wife, that was a bone of contention because I said, absolutely not. No Santa. No. You got that. You got those gifts from people. You got it from your aunt or your uncle or grandparents or whatever. Those are people who worked and shopped and did all this stuff for you. I don't want you, giving all this credit to some, some magical guy and no, forget all that. No, right. I never allowed it. You won't see a picture of any of my kids sitting on Santa's lap and none of that. And
I have one of me.
And to be honest with you, I'm not saying that there's something wrong if people want to do that.
Yeah.
That's totally up to them. I'm just saying for me, I didn't care for it.
Yeah. I think I can't say 100% what I would do if I had a kid, but this is what I've always believed is that I still would do all the let's go to Santa's whatever, but I wouldn't pretend, but it's the fun, it's the magic of it. It's not really real, right? But it's the magic, it's the idea. He represents the giving and the fun and the magic of the season. but I would not want them to think that that's where their stuff came from. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like a fun thing to go and do, I mean, I could still enjoy the Santa experience knowing he's not real. Yeah. And I think the kids can too. But I mean, I'm not saying I would do that as a teacher. I try not to, I try to stay neutral because there's kids in my class who don't believe in it. Yeah. Right. But I don't go one way or the other. I always just say, if you believe in Santa, this is this. And if you don't, then this, you know what I mean? That's what I try to do. But if I have my own children, I definitely would not be, I
mean, my parents did it. They did do the Santa thing. I think my father, I don't think his heart was in it. So that's probably why we caught on really early. Mm-hmm. That it was like, hold on, he was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. That's what your mama wants me to do, but but his heart was not in it at all. Yeah. But so they did it, but we figured it out early. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I didn't want my kids doing that.
Yeah, I like making my own traditions. They're related to the traditions that most people carry, but I like making my own and doing my own thing. It's fun. And it's important to me to do it because I love looking back on that kind of stuff. And even though I grew up with, a single parent mm-hmm. and not a ton of money, I mean, later in life, things were better, but early on they weren't. My mom still made my childhood very magical, so to speak, because of so many things that she did herself. She didn't outsource a bunch of things. Yeah. And I'll never forget that. All the cakes and everything, she made them. And she made them in the shape of the design, the colors, that whatever I was into. And to me, that is super special. I'm not putting down any people who go and buy and outsource everything, but you're going to remember that cake you saw your mom making a little bit more than that cake that,
Absolutely.
the bakery made.
Absolutely. Because my parents, not my parents, my mother still has the ornaments that we made when, I was probably 8, 9 years old. That makes Gretchen, 11, 12 years mm-hmm. old. And, it is special the times I've been to my parents' house and mm-hmm. I actually see those things mm-hmm. like, wow, mm-hmm. We made those things, back in the day. Yeah. That is special.
It is.
Especially
if you did it together.
Yes.
Like, you won't forget that.
And there were times that I didn't appreciate it as a child because it was just like, oh, boy. We got to do what again? Oh, boy. But now I can look at it and have some wonderful memories, mm-hmm. some really wonderful memories because my mother believed in trying to make everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's fun and it's special. I don't know. It takes a lot more thought to do that.
Yeah. And then you can do it your way when you're actually creating the thing. Mm-hmm. You want to add a little bit more purple in there or whatever. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's your stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If somebody has advice on how to have a Merry Christmas with a teen that you didn't completely raise, because I'm like, what can I find?
Or one you did completely raise. So,
Because I'm like, what is there to do? So much is geared towards little kids. Yeah. And then if it is more, it's always this cutoff. You got to be 18 or you got to be 21 to do some of these things. And it's like, ding, he's at 17. You know what I mean? But
yeah, and our teen is very particular about what he likes.
Yeah,
so it ends up being, if he hasn't told us what he wants, then you're basically looking at gift cards. You know?
Yes. Hey, my mom was very strong thought process about like, don't give gift cards. You need to think about what it is. But it is so much easier. Now I do give in to the gift cards because I used to like to shop. I used to like to be in the store and look around and, just see something and be like, that makes me think of so-and-so. This is it. And, but now I'm like, oh my God. I mean, and it's really, I'm going to blame COVID because once I could start shopping online, that's what I do. And so the other day I did go into Ross and I was like, oh, this was a nice, but when I do that, I end up buying a bunch of stuff for myself, one for somebody else and 5 for me. But I don't enjoy the shopping process as much as I used to. Yeah. But I do like to give. I do like to give to people and find something that matches them. I don't like to just grab whatever or, I don't like those kind of gifts that are just like, here's a lotion set. And like, unless that person really likes lotion or they likes that lotion, right? Otherwise, I don't like to give stuff like that.
Also with you, it's different because I don't know if all teachers do that, but at least at your school, you have people who kind of give gifts to each other. I've never had that in any of my careers.
Wow. You think it's the guy side though? You think the women did it?
There's probably a lot to that because.
But we're also friends, you know what I mean? Some of us are real friends outside of work.
I worked with my best friend for a decade, but that's just not something that we think about. It's just like you don't think about, okay, yeah, that's my man right there. Yo, let me get him something. It's just
maybe you guys need to have a little
maybe
joy.
we should. Maybe we should. Yes. Maybe that's the way we need to start going, but it's not something that we think about.
Yeah, I think the women typically do all the shopping and the gifting and the cooking. I mean, even though you cook 90% of the time, right? But when it comes to the holiday dinner, I do it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so I think that
also because you're particular.
Well, I do
about the holiday cooking.
I very much am. Like there's certain things that I want to have. It just reminds me of a time that I miss very, very much. That was. I feel like snatched from me. Sorry, Mom, but I wanted to stay with my grandparents, and so I didn't get a chance to do that. But my grandmother was a stay-at-home mom, so she was like cooking all the time and stuff. And my mom tried, but she worked a lot. So But I think men should get a little bit more into that gift giving.
Yeah. I can see that, and I think that's something I need to talk to the fellas about.
I mean, give it to your woman usually, right? But so why not your friends?
It's not something that enters our mind, or at least for me, it doesn't enter my. I don't think about when I'm around this time of year. Oh man, Lawrence would love this. I think Stacy would like this. I don't really think about those kinds of things
because you guys haven't had to historically. The woman usually buys all
that is true.
The gifts.
That is true.
So
and then for me, it's stressful buying for other people because I don't feel like I know what they want, and so
then that might be a key into getting to know the person a little bit more.
It could be,
it could be just understand what people like, but
but
I still like this. I'm off for the next 2 weeks, and I feel like I want to do some fun activities that are around the hall, like these pop-up bars are fun.
Oh yeah,
right? Carrie pop-up bar was really cute, and I just like, and what we did last night, right? We went to see jazz. Like, even though it wasn't necessarily a holiday thing, it still felt like one a little bit. The lights and the energy there.
Yeah.
And people are kind of just a little more joyful around this time.
That was Robert Glasper, by the way.
Yeah.
One of my favorite artists. So, but I mean, so I think I'm going to talk to the fellas about that and see if we can start to get more festive.
And I would love to do. I've never had a Friendsgiving. As close as my friends. Well, the thing is, I'm close to my friends. They're not necessarily close to each other. Like we all know each other, but it's not that kind of like we all are, you know what I mean, together. But I'm sure everybody would come if I had something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to throw a little holiday dinner party. That would be fun. We are in no position this year.
No, not this year.
Yeah, and because we are a little bit of a mess. But we're working on it. We're gonna get an organizer and all that good stuff. And that's something to talk about, like once we experience it. But but I would like to have people over and just celebrate, like you said, more often throughout the year, not just at holidays. But I do like the decor. I like all that stuff.
Yeah. It's one of those things that, like I said, I'm coming around to it. But one of the things I loved is just giving random gifts. Random gifts that are, I thought about you. As I was looking at this, I wanted you to have it, and I wasn't going to hide it for your birthday or for the anniversary. It's like, no, I bought it for you. I'm going to give it to you right now.
Yeah. Because if I buy something early, which I try to do that, I don't know how people shop early. I can't find it.
Yeah.
I have bought things for teachers at work where I'm like, I'm going to give this to them at Teacher Appreciation Week. Bought it in bulk. I mean, bulk mean like 10 of them or whatever. I don't know where they are by the time. So I am like, we're going to get that together. But so I like having experiences more than stuff. So if I am going to give somebody something, I want it to be very useful, right? Because these things you like it for a short period of time. I don't like giving Christmas themed things because for me, once it's over, I mean, some people when it's a holiday, they stretch the holiday to the entire month. I'm not really like that. So, I mean, Christmas I kind of did like maybe a few weeks, just all the jewelry and stuff like that, because I'm thinking about the students, and our last day was the 19th. So, but otherwise, I'm not going to use like a Christmas tree plate.
Yeah.
But any day but Christmas Day.
Yeah, I don't do any of that stuff, but yeah. But so, I will start to I am starting to get back into it, Yeah,
especially because we have our new little family together, and I want us to have some traditions.
Yes.
I don't know what, but
Yeah.
It's our second Christmas married, and last time we got to go, well, not during Christmas, but just a day before, we were in Belize doing our honeymoon, and it would have been nice to keep that going, but we told ourselves this year that we're going to spend money on other stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be that couple that's like, when couples have kids, they're like, don't give me anything, let's do everything for the kids. Yeah. Or, I don't want to be that we don't give each other gifts, but it's just because we're doing this huge thing with the organizing. So that's our gift to each other.
Yeah. And we'll find ways to get out and have experiences during this holiday season. Mm-hmm. You're off, I'm fairly off, I got a couple of things to do, but nothing of any substance. Mm-hmm. So, we should be able to have a good time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And I appreciate all the gifts. I haven't opened them yet, but the students, I got a lot of gifts from the families, and that's kind of nice. And I would wait until Christmas Day to open them because I want to feel like I have something. I mean, I would have stuff for my mom, but like friends stop giving each other stuff as they get older. Yeah. Like, and unless, like, I still gave my friends stuff and their kids, right? But if you don't have kids, you get a whole lot. You get a lot less time and everything from your friends if you don't also share that same thing. So, but because so many of my friends had kids, I did do Christmas big with everybody when they were younger, especially the ones that are now adults. I have a couple friends who have young kids, but
yeah. So I'm kind of curious in terms of like the fellows. Do you guys exchange gifts with your male friends? I mean, I would imagine no, but I'm just, I would love to find out that I'm totally wrong in this, and because I am thinking that might be some way to kind of shift.
Yeah, even tradition. If you just do that little white elephant thing, something, you know what I mean, where everybody brings something, you play a game or whatever. Yeah. But I think men do need to tap into some of
we do.
The ways that bring joy that are a little softer.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We definitely do.
So, yeah. We're just a few days away from the holiday, and I'm sad to see it go because it means it's closer to my vacation being over. But I want to make sure that I just like celebrate everything, not just holidays, but just celebrate moments.
Well, that I absolutely agree with. Is celebrating more, and having gratitude for what we have and where we've come.
Right.
I was talking to some of my friends just yesterday. My Black Men Run group, and just. We were just passing gratitude around because we have a group of fellas that we can have real conversations and talk to each other. And when one of us has a problem, there's no judgment. It's like, how can we as a team figure this out?
That's so nice. I mean, I don't even have that. I mean, I have my friends I could go to individually, but we don't have this meet up, this thing that we do together. This, it's not like that.
You guys need to create something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you have your friends together, right? Where my friends they're all my friends all over. So opening up may not be the same. Yeah, I'm in a connection. But what I do want to do, I've been seeing this whole trend. I don't know where it started or whatever, but I see, of course, on TikTok or Instagram, where I've mostly seen women. I haven't seen men, and so I talked to you about this. I wanted to do it maybe with couples, or not even necessarily couples, but just men and women, making co-ed, where there's a cake. And everyone has like a little, basically something they wrote, whatever it is that they're celebrated for the year, and they stick it in the cake, and it's like, I paid off my house, or I, overcame cancer, or whatever it is. I mean, sometimes it's something really big, and sometimes it's something really small, and I'm like, I love it. And everyone's cheering for each other. Like, I love recognizing all the things that you do. And I'm big on that because there's a time in my life where, I think just society, recognizes people getting married. They recognize having a baby, birthdays, kids' birthdays for sure. But if you're not doing those specific things, you don't get as much acknowledgement. And it's not a holiday either. So, and I always felt kind of sad about that, right? Like, people made it a priority to go to 100 birthday parties, but your one birthday party, like, I can't make it because I'm going to the 110th birthday party.
And we we definitely do need to celebrate more.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays when people are so angry about what's going on.
Yeah.
And not to say that I disagree with their anger, but
right.
but also, keeping in mind all the things that you're fortunate enough to have, the relationships, everything within your life that is so great that builds you. We do need to spend more time talking about that.
Yeah, I agree. And which makes me think about going back to the holidays and those who are having holidays without their loved ones this year, and like how hard that is, especially if it was a big thing for them. You know? And especially if it was the person who kind of kept it going. Just keeping those people in mind and maybe inviting them, not forgetting about those people, inviting them over if you even if you have something small. I mean, we've invited people over that we knew were by themselves, before with just my mom and I. So,
that's good.
I think it's important to do that.
Yeah. So we're going to reach out in the future and do more of that. Yeah. Yeah. So anything else?
No, I would just love to hear out there. How do you celebrate? How are you celebrating your holiday? What are some traditions that you've started or some things you like to do? Mainly things that are like not super traditional. I mean, I'd love to hear about it.
And not just within your family, but your friend groups, whether it's your coworkers, whatever, what is it that you do? Because, if I hear a good idea, I'm going to steal it. So,
And who doesn't want to hear cheerful stories?
Absolutely.
But if you also just have a story that you need to get out, you need to share, you need to tell someone about how you feel about the holidays. Maybe you don't feel great about them. Share that too. We're here to listen. And
thank you all again for, tuning in to our podcast. We've been doing this for about 1.5 years, and we're really enjoying it. We're really growing. And we have some ideas of some things we want to do next year to enhance the content and everything. And so we just really are grateful for you for just tuning in and listening to us run our mouths and stuff.
Yes. Thank you for your gift of time.
Yes.
Appreciate it, because that's a big, huge gift too, and it doesn't cost anyone anything.
Yes. So for this, I believe it's the 58th episode of Love, Growth, and Narratives. I'm Fredrick.
And I'm Tiffany.
Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Happy holidays.